Anna, what's your assessment so far of the Mets a third of the way through their season?
I mean, it's got to be pretty good, right? It's really good. I know that there's some quibbles with Juan Soto, and the lineup as a whole could be hitting better in clutch situations. We will talk about that later. But especially the pitching, you have to be impressed with what the team has done. I was looking at how they've changed their playoff odds because they're a good team. They're winning. So even though they're not in first right now, their playoff odds preseason, 62.4% on Fangraphs to make the playoffs, up to 81.1%. Now, we'll talk about the Yankees in a little bit, and the AL is in much easier field, so it's sort of easier to get your playoff odds up in the AL. In the NL, that 20%, nearly 20% jump in playoff odds, that's really, really good in such a tough division. To have 81% chance of making the postseason when you're not even in first place in the division is really impressive. The one area of concern, even though the pitching has been so good, is the fact that they've just been relying on their bullpen a lot. Their bullpen is 7th most in innings pitched. That doesn't sound super high, but a lot of the teams above them are just bad teams. It's like Miami and the White Sox, teams who aren't going to be pitching in October. So I'd love to see them get their relievers, their high-leverage relievers, a little bit of a rest, but I think you have to hope that that's what will happen when Sean Manaea or Frankie Montas comes back, that you'll be able to kind of move some people around, maybe even push some of the starters to the bullpen, and in that way kind of get everyone a little bit of an innings break. But otherwise, I mean, what more could you want at this point other than maybe Juan Soto to be getting a little luckier?
Yeah, and I mean, that to me is a huge thing here, Hannah, because Juan Soto hasn't really generated all that much, and they're still a league average offense, and the pitching has really been the thing that has been the key. I mean, they've given up the fewest home runs in Major League Baseball. They're the only staff with an ERA under 3 collectively. So there's a lot to really like about their performance so far. And to me, you know, the idea that Soto is out there waiting to break out and waiting to rock and roll is something that is going to have a seismic effect on this team. They might be, to me, if everything comes together and the pitching continues to work the way it has, they might be the scariest non-Dodger team in the majors, to me, right now.
Andy, where can the Mets improve the final two-thirds of the season?
Well, I think they could use another power arm in the bullpen, given how much attrition they've already had injury-wise in the bullpen. My primary gripe about the team is its run prevention, its defense, but I don't think that that's something that's easily improved in season. I think with David Stearns and the way he values defense, we're going to see that improve in a club as in a couple years there'll be a roster that's more of his design rather than a lot of things that he inherited. And so I'm not sure how. That's the one thing you love to see shored up, but I'm just not sure how you do it. It's hard to trade for defense specifically at a trade deadline, especially in the Mets situation when they need to make room for infield prospects coming up, whether it's at-bats for Ronnie Mauricio when he's ready, continue to find places for Luis Angel Acuna, who's a terrific defender. I'd like to see more playing time for him in the middle infield for that reason. But to me, that's the major thing that once you get to playoff time and I expect them to be there, the little things, we saw how defense undermined the Yankees in Dodger Stadium, and I could see if there's one thing you're worried about are the Mets, it being that.
I mean, well, part of the defensive woes has been Francisco Lindor just hasn't looked like himself.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of have to hope that that just improves itself. While you were talking, I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, maybe center field and Jose Siri will come back at some point. Do we know when he's coming back?
It's going to be a while yet.
Shouldn't put you on the spot about that.
He's an elite defender, but they haven't tailored one right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right. So I think some of their defensive woes, right, is sort of baked into guys who are in positions that they're not going to move, Pete Alonso and Lindor, and you think you just have to hope that Lindor looks more like himself in the field at some point.
It has been strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I generally agree with you, Andy, about their defense, but I do want to highlight some guys who have played really well there recently. I mean, Taylor is a guy who impacts games on a daily basis with his bat as well. I mean, to me, he's one of those underappreciated guys that I'm fascinated by because he always does something good in a game. Whenever he's in the lineup, he does something. He gets something accomplished. Not everybody in the majors can say that. And Brett Baty, you know, whatever you think about Brett Baty as a player, as a potential guy to be a third baseman for the Mets going forward here, he's played really good defense lately. I mean, he's made some sensational plays, and I think that maybe a little bit of that confidence that he's generating from being a big-time defender lately has bled into the offensive part too, because he's really been raking as well since he came up, and he's become kind of an unexpected, pleasant surprise for them.
Some of the bad defense has been Pete Alonso's throws at first. He's not going anywhere, so that's not going to be able to fix. I think the Mets need a legitimate bat in the outfield, but that could be a story for another day.